Hello and thank you for joining me today. It's so great to see you here again, and I always love giving some information and helping others realize what's going on with their health. So my question to you today is, are you suffering from an underactive thyroid? Is the thyroid imbalance affecting your health and causing a lot of symptoms that you don't have an understanding or don't know how to rectify? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm Teresa Todd, naturopath, biochemist, microbiologist and author. And like I said, today we're going to talk about underactive thyroid. So when a thyroid is underactive, we can get a myriad of symptoms. Some of these symptoms can include weight gain or struggling to lose weight. Some of my clients find that they're putting on weight and they're just not eating anything different, or they're not exercising anything differently, but the weight keeps going on. Is that how you're feeling? Maybe you're feeling a bit tired, a bit fatigued, unmotivated, you're feeling very flat. So tell me, is that something that's going on with you? Are you finding that your periods have changed? Maybe they're a little bit more heavy, more irregular than they were before, and that's causing you some discomfort and stopping you living your life? What about pale, dry skin, or hair falling out? Dry, brittle hair and the hair falling out, or your nails splitting? Puffiness in your face that wasn't there before? Are you finding that you're getting any muscle and joint aches and pains? Feeling a little bit depressed, irritable, or find that your memory is a little bit more poor than it used to be? It's not as sharp as it was. Maybe there's some foggy thought. Can you identify with any of these? If you can, give me some love hearts or some thumbs up if you can identify with any of these. Do you find that you're a little bit more intolerant to the cold, that you feel the cold more than anyone else around you? Or do you find that you've got some digestive issues, so an upset stomach, constipation, sluggishness with your digestive system? All of these symptoms can indicate that there's an imbalance in your thyroid. So it is about looking at what's going on there and identifying if your thyroid's underactive and causing these symptoms. So like I said, give me a thumbs up if you've experienced any of these, or place a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. You're not the only one feeling this way. There are others that do suffer from these symptoms, and it can be fixed. It can be rectified. Now, when I'm talking about the thyroid gland, what am I talking about? Well, it's a gland that sits in the base of the throat here. It's a little beautiful butterfly-shaped organ, and it's in charge of manufacturing hormones, thyroid hormones called T4, T3, and activating reverse T3. So when your brain tells your thyroid, hey, let's produce some hormones, those hormones interact with your energy response of your body, or your energy metabolism. It is related to your digestion. It's related to your weight, to your hormone balance, and even your stress response. So when there's an imbalance in your thyroid, it has a lot of effect on a lot of different areas of the body. It's not just related to this little butterfly gland here. It affects your hormones. It affects your ability to handle stress. You might find that you're a little bit more responsive to stress, or let's say sensitive to stress, that you can't quite cope with things the way you used to. It could be your thyroid. So that's what we're talking about. Now, underactive thyroid, when I talk about underactive thyroid, what am I talking about? We can have a straight underactive thyroid, which is called hypothyroidism. And that's where, when I say a straight underactive thyroid, it's where the thyroid's underactive due to a nutritional issue. Usually it's due to nutrition. So it could be that you're lacking in zinc, iodine, tyrosine, selenium, inositol. These are key nutrients that your thyroid needs to manufacture and activate these thyroid hormones. And if we don't get enough of these nutrients, we either can't make the hormones, or we can't activate the hormones so that they can do their job. And sometimes our Western diet is very deficient in these kinds of foods, or in these kinds of nutrients, the foods that supply the nutrients. So ensuring that you've got an adequate amount of these nutrients in your diet and your lifestyle is very, very important to help support the thyroid. Because a lot of us here in Australia, we're bound by sea. We've got a lot of ocean around us. But what I do find is a lot of my clients don't eat enough products that have iodine in them. So a lot of the sea sea sourced foods like your deep sea fish, the sea animals like the prawns, the crustaceans, those kinds of things that supply iodine. And so they don't get enough iodine in their diet. And that can be one of the factors. So it is about looking at the foods that you're eating to help supply the nutrition. It's not just about taking a thyroid medication and going, yep, this is going to fix the problem. We need to make sure that we can activate and utilize these hormones to the best of our ability. So it is always about looking at your nutrition and are you getting enough of these key nutrients? But there is also, aside from hypothyroidism, there is an autoimmune condition called Hashimotos thyroiditis. And Hashimotos thyroiditis is an autoimmune condition. So what happens there is the body or the immune system starts to attack the delicate thyroid tissue or the hormones that are being made from it. So when that occurs, what happens is that the thyroid isn't able to make these key hormones the way it should do with Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So we tend to struggle with all of those symptoms I mentioned before, the weight gain, the puffy face, the tiredness and the lethargy, the joint and muscle aches and pains, the changes to our period and our cycle, the sensitivity to the cold, the constipation, the foggy thought. We still get all of those symptoms plus a few more that can happen when we've got autoimmune disease called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Now, if you've been diagnosed, put a little love heart or a comment if you've been diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, because what generally happens is that you're just given a medication from your local GP and they say, here, stay on this forever. This will help you. And that's all fine and good, but is it really fixing the cause and what's going on? So I've had a client who came in and she had been diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis. The doctor had prescribed a set dosage of thyroxine, which is the thyroid hormone, and said, take this, you are going to take this forever. But there was no speak about diet. There was no speak about what else could she do to help to calm and rectify and balance the immune system that was attacking her thyroid gland. And that's the key concept here. If we want to be able to turn off the symptoms of autoimmune disease, of Hashimoto's thyroiditis, we need to deal with the core and what's going on. So when my client came to me, she'd been taking the thyroxine for just over 6 months, still didn't feel any different. She was still putting on weight. She still felt like she was sluggish. She had a lot of recurrent infections. She was fatigued. She was struggling with some sore joints. The foggy thought and the poor memory was really getting to her because she was the cornerstone of her family. Her family relied on her, and she felt like she was letting them down because she wasn't able to be as sharp and as on the ball as she used to be. So she was making a few mistakes and forgetting things that the family had told her, or family events, and she really felt like she was letting everyone down because of that. And so really in 6 months, her quality of life hadn't changed. Instead, when I worked with her, we worked with her nutrition, optimized her nutrition, got her on track so that she had all of these beautiful nutrients to help support the thyroid gland in its process. I also worked with her because she had previously had Epstein-Barr virus. Now, Epstein-Barr virus has been related to autoimmune Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and it's a stealth infection. And if it's not cleared up and dealt with effectively, it will confuse the immune system and create this autoimmune condition. So working with helping her balance her immune system and clear out this virus or the remnants of this virus was very important as part of her process. And in doing this process, she was able to lose weight. She was able to feel a lot more clearer or clarity of thought. She was able to get her motivation or her mojo back, as she called it. And she just felt better in general, that she was able to be there for her family and was able to I suppose, take the reins again, that she could keep up with the lifestyle and the demands that that she had for her kids with their after school activities and making sure that she was on the ball getting everything done. She felt like she was back in control again. And it was just the simple process of making sure that she had the key nutrients. and that we could deal with this cornerstone of one of the triggers of her of the autoimmune condition. So it is about looking at all of the factors as to what has gone on to trigger your underactive thyroid. Is it underactive thyroid due to nutrition, or is it an underactive thyroid due to an autoimmune condition? And when we look at those and then we deal with the key health concepts underpinning that, we can help the body to balance itself. The body has an amazing way to balance it, to heal itself. It just needs to be given the right conditions. So it is all about just addressing those key concepts. Now, if you're wanting some help, if you're finding that you're suffering from an underactive thyroid, hypothyroidism, or Hashimotos thyroiditis, then message me. I've got a 3-step process to reversing autoimmune disease as a booklet, and I'm happy to send that to you to give you some guidance in where to start so that you don't feel so overwhelmed by the whole process. I look forward to speaking with you next time. So send me a message if you're wanting that 3-step guide. I'd love to send it out to you. Just need a message down below and we'll get in touch with you and send that to you soon. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Happy health. Bye for now.